Hi, this is Peter. I'm once again standing in the dairy barn / museum, as we're calling it, as I'm calling it. No one else seems to call it that, but I'm calling it that. The dairy barn / museum that is the home of the Tara facade. It's been here for over 20 years, and as part of the Saving Tara project, the project got started, it's been about a year ago now. We are taking these pieces that were inventoried over 20 years ago, connecting with inventorying them again, connecting. You'll see behind me numbers at the top of the window here that correspond with the list. We went back and made sure that everything was numbered. Some of the numbers, of course, had blown away or worn out, gone away, faded, so we've added new numbers. But I'm standing here in front of this window that is seen on the side porch in Gone with the Wind. It's behind Prissy. It is not technically one of those hero pieces, as they call it, where a star is standing next to a door, or you'll see later a window, or the tall windows on the front of Tara. This was in a few shots, but in passing. But it goes, when I look at these pieces, I'm amazed at the quality of the workmanship and the exact nature of the way they built it. You would think that the folks that built these pieces were building it for a workable house rather than just a facade that was built out of 2x4s and then covered with a plywood veneer with wooden bricks attached and then windows and doors on that. I'm sure it helped the actors to get deeper in their parts, do a better job with the realism around them of standing in front of this huge house that was basically a 2x4 frame with a skin on the front of a facade. But this window behind me was on that porch, and next to it, to my right, there would be the camera person's left, is a set of beadboard shutters. Now, if you do watch Gone with the Wind and you go to a slow motion or take it frame by frame as Melanie is going up the stairs to talk to Scarlett, the soldiers are being fed, and Scarlett's calling Melanie up on the porch. And Melanie's just heard that Ashley has been taken prisoner. Remember that scene? Well, as you follow Melanie up the porch and up the steps and onto the porch, you'll see coming beside her, right behind Prissy, who's also on the porch, these green shutters, the beadboard shutters. And behind it, covering it, is this window. All right. What I'm doing is I've leaned the beadboard shutters forward to give you a little bit better look here. You won't be able to see this in a museum. See the two pieces here. I'm going to see if it'll move. See, it moves? That's because they overlap. This one is the left side, and it closes on top of the right side. And these two pieces of wood here, make them move a little bit, create a latch, a closing, so that no wind will come through. It's pretty amazing that they spent the time and the energy to build these beadboard shutters with this type of exacting work just for a movie set. Now over here on the side, you get this. This is another interesting feature. This is so that it fits flush to the window. So in closing these shutters, you would have a secure closure over the window, and this closes down on top of the window. Now in the front, these are the ghosts. You need to remember that term. If you're going to watch some more of our videos, we'll talk about the ghosts. This is not paranormal activity. I'm not channeling Butterfly McQueen at this point. These are discolorations. You'll see this is a little darker because there was a strap here, a hinge. And the hinges, we'll see at another time. But the hinges were here. It's discolored over the years. So we'll be able to take one of the hinges, come back and put it up there, and we'll keep bringing hinges up until we get the right one. Because these things were, as they used to say in construction, stick built. Every piece done individually. And so they all have their own little differences, and so when you go putting these hinges up on each shutter and each window, they do not interchange like we're used to today with parts on cars and houses and everything else. So we have to be real careful. We don't want to come in here and put up a hinge that was not the hinge for this. And the way we find that out is we match it to the ghosts. these are some of the hinges that were used for the large windows and shutters, and also for the beadboard shutters that I showed you just a moment ago. See how they're made. Look very much like blacksmith made. It wouldn't surprise me that they went somewhere and had a blacksmith or an iron worker, because there's even hammer marks here where it's been hammered to look very old. And what we'll do is we'll match these to the shutter until we find the exact match, because see, and you see the differences in each one of them. Some of them are wider, some of them are more narrow. And so being that each one of these are made individually, we'll be able to match them to the paint marks on the shutter, and thus the ghosts. So just another piece of the tour, another part of all these great stories and pieces that we're going to see, and that we're continuing to see as we're continuing to work to salvage and save and preserve and then present. Don't forget the present part of the pieces of the Tara facade, the most iconic movie set of all time, and the Saving Tara project.